Hello and welcome to Bottom Line. Well, suspense continues in Manipur as far as the results of the Rajya Sabha polls are concerned. As per information, counting of votes is yet to begin. Yes, there's been a delay in counting of votes. It's not actually clear whether the Election Commission has asked the state election officials to hold on as far as the counting process is concerned. To start with, earlier in the day, the Congress had cried foul over allegations that three of the Congress turncoats who were out of the seven MLAs were barred from entering the assembly had actually voted for the Rajya Sabha post. That seems to be the bone of contention at the moment, but it's not yet clear why there is this delay in the counting of votes. Of course, in Meghalaya, it is the MDA common candidate W.R. Kharluki who has won, in fact, comfortably 39 votes against 19 of the Congress candidate Kennedy Kriam. But and in Mizoram too, we are still awaiting the results. But Meghalaya, of course, it's a comfortable win for the NPP state president, the state president of NPP from Meghalaya. Comfortable win for W.R. Kharluki. But suspense continues in Manipur. We will have to go to Manipur first. Our bureau chief Sharat Chandra joins us from Imphal. He's at the assembly premises. Sharat, what is the latest update?
Yeah, Navaron, I'm still at this Manipur State Assembly complex, inside the complex, and we are very nearby at this counting hall, and we all present here, all the media person present here, waiting for the counting to start, but still the counting is not start. And in the meantime, I also I tried my level best to contact many of the CEO office official. They are also present here. PK Singh, CEO. State CEO is present here, PK Singh, and many of the subordinate staff are also present here, CEO's office. And I already put my question that what could be the reason behind the delay in counting. So the answer so far I'm getting from them is that they are not getting approval to start count from the ECI. This is the main reason. But so far, I also tried
Not
to
getting the
collect some
approval,
information
not getting the approval to start.
reliable information.
Okay, go ahead, Sharat, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. One line. Yeah, no, but not getting the approval from the ECI. That is the only reason they are not starting the counting. Once they get approval from the ECI, then counting will not take time. This is the answer from the this CEO office official, that the counting will not take time. Counting may take only 30 minutes. But so far as they are not getting the approval from the ECI, they cannot start counting. This is the reason given I'm getting from the CEO office official present here. And we also do have the information that the lone Trinamool Congress MLA who won the election in the year 2017 Manipur general election, he lost a complaint to the ECI. I think this could be the one of the reason. And another reason is the 7 MLA who were facing the disqualification case, and their cases were pending at the Speaker Tribunal. But 4 of them already disqualified by the Speaker Tribunal, and another 3 is not disqualified, and they are given chance to vote. So this could be the another complaint from the Congress side also, and I think this could be the one of the reason. Otherwise, the ECI is not disclosing the exact reason behind the delay in counting. Navron.
So it is almost clear that as per sources, as per what you have picked up, that probably the Election Commission of India has not given the go-ahead for counting to start. Sharat, any updates? Any updates on what grounds were the 3 Congress turncoats not disqualified? Why 4 of them are disqualified, but the other 3 were allowed to vote? Of course, 7 of them were barred from entering the assembly premises by the Manipur High Court. So how come 3 were not disqualified? Any clarity on that, Sharat? Sharat, can you hear me? Right, we'll try to fix that connection with Sharat Chandra. So clearly, the big news that we're getting right now is that as per sources, as per official sources, the Election Commission has not yet given a go-ahead for the counting of votes in Manipur. Of course. There has been 7 of the MLAs were barred from entering the assembly. 4 were disqualified by the Speaker's Tribunal. 3 were 3 voted today. That could be one of the bone of contentions here. Sharat, my question was. The Manipur High Court had barred 7 MLAs from entering the assembly premises. The Speaker's Tribunal, as we informed us, has disqualified 4 of them. Any clarity on why the other 3 were allowed to vote today? Why the other 3 are not disqualified? Any clarity on that, Sharat?
So far, Nabarun, no clarity at all. But yes, you have rightly mentioned that around a week ahead, the High Court of Manipur have already barred the entry to the old 7 MLA of the Congress who defected Congress and later joined the BJP. So disqualification against the 7 MLAs were pending at the Speaker Tribunal. And in the meantime, High Court also given a verdict, interim verdict, that all the 7 MLA, de facto MLA, as their disqualification is pending at the Speaker Tribunal. So High Court have already barred the entry of the 7 MLAs who were facing the disqualification. But all of a sudden, Speaker Tribunal have already overruled and allow 3 MLAs to enter the this assembly premises, and they also given the opportunity to cast a vote. And so far as the 7 MLA who are facing the disqualification case, 4 of them have already disqualified by the Speaker Tribunal, and 3 remaining. 3 are at present, they are not facing any kind of disqualification. They have given opportunity to cast a vote. And once again, this controversial decision triggered this Congress knocking the High Court door. And in the meantime, before 4 p.m., they failed to bring any kind of court verdict before the end of this voting. So now voting have already ended. Congress MLAs and the Congress, even CLP leader, are not happy with the way the voting has done. So they might have lodged some complaint to the ECI, and the reason behind the delay in the counting could be one of the reason from Congress side complaining towards this ECI. Nabran.
Sharat, any reactions coming from either the Congress and the BJP camp, or anything that you have been able to pick up from the sources in either of the camps on the current situation?
Nabarun, the assembly inside this assembly complex, just in front of me is the lobby. Lobby is now full of this BJPs and its allies, MLAs and minister. They are waiting for the counting to be started, and they are also waiting for the result. But so far as Congress MLAs are concerned, any of the Congress MLA cannot be seen here. They have already left the assembly premises by 3 p.m. So they also, on the other hand, Congress, they also realize that already some cross-voting have already done, and they are not getting the number what they expected before the voting start. Nabarun.
Sharat, can we then say that a parallel battles were going on today? One where the voting was going on, one outside the assembly premises, from what you say, because there seem to be a lot of pros and cons in this entire sequence of events today, and it's quite complicated, seems at the moment.
You see, Nabarun, we also met with the CLP leader and also former Chief Minister Manipur O Ipopi while he was coming out from the assembly complex building after casting his vote. At that time, he was quite confident that the Congress candidate may win this Rajya Sabha only single seat from Manipur. But by the time 3 p.m., almost all the MLAs of Congress and NPP MLAs have already left the assembly complex. And by the time 3:30, we also do have the information that the High Court of Manipur may give an interim verdict on the disqualification case of all the 7 MLAs. In the early morning, the out of 3 MLAs have come to the assembly premises. They have casted vote, and they immediately left the assembly complex. Now the question from Congress side is, if the 3 MLAs who were facing the disqualification case has given the opportunity to cast a vote, and the remaining 4 have already disqualified and not given the chance to enter the assembly premises, and also not given the opportunity to cast a vote, because all the 7s are facing the similar charges against them, and this pronouncement of disqualification case is still pending till today, till today morning, and all of a sudden the Speaker Tribunal have disqualified 4 of the MLAs, and the Speaker Tribunal did not disqualify 3 of the Congress MLA, and they have given the chance to cast a vote. So this is one of the most controversial part so far as Congress is concerned, and the expectation is they have already, I think, filed a complaint to the ECI. At the same time, the lone Trinamool Congress, who won the election in the Trinamool Congress in the 2017 election, and subsequently he joined the BJP. So from his side also, he have already lost complex. He is the lone Trinamool Congress MLA. So either he joined Congress or he joined BJP. He might not have faced the disqualification case, and could not be disqualified by the Speaker Tribunal. So this is a sense that the Trinamool Lone Congress MLA getting at this point of time and lodge a complaint to the ECI. And one of the big reason behind the delay in the counting is due to complaint. I think ECI may observing all the documents, all the facts and all the files, and after that I think they may have a decision. So decision is waiting here. CO official are waiting for the right decision from the ECI. Nabarun.
Sharat, can we expect a result tonight? That is the big question now. Well, we were expecting the results by 5. It's 10 minutes past 8 now. Can we expect a result this evening? Can we expect the result in Manipur tonight, or it will spill over and maybe takes a different course?
Navarone, so far as media persons' presence are here are concerned, we are hoping against hope, because no one can say when the discounting will start. So we are also hoping that counting will start soon, and the counting may not take time. So we are hoping against hope, as no one can say when the counting will start, Navarone.
All right, Sharat, stand by there. We will come back to you in some time. We will come back to you in some time. Keep track of all the developments. Inform us of what is going on there. We are also being joined over the phone by our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. Wasbir, suspense continues in Manipur. Can't say whether the results will be out tonight, but this is really a tricky situation right now.
Yes, Nabarun, during the day, during the entire voting hours, it was indeed a seesaw battle. Basically, it was a seesaw battle. Initially, it was the Congress that was in an absolutely upbeat mood. But as the afternoon set in, the Congress camp, actually the mood dampened in the Congress camp. The Congress legislators started leaving the assembly premises. But the question is, why is the delay? So it is likely that the Congress must have lodged a complaint with the Election Commission, basically raising the issue as to how 7 of the MLAs were disqualified. 4 of them were allowed to cast votes. In fact, there was a High Court ruling barring the 7 original Congress MLAs who were sided with the BJP. They were disqualified, but they were actually barred from entering the assembly premises. At least 4 of these MLAs had actually cast their votes. That is the basic bone of contention. The Congress may have approached the Election Commission, following which the Election Commission may have asked authorities to hold on to the counting. But Nabarun, my sources are telling me that, counting may actually start any time now. because the officials involved in the counting process are once again making preparations to begin the process. We are yet to know that, but our correspondent Tarat Chandra is on ground zero. If he is listening to this, Tarat Chandra can confirm and break the story right in this bulletin.
Absolutely,
But
we will
story,
get
number one is that the authorities are now gearing up. That is what we are getting to know. But this also brings to the fore the complete lack of ideology. There is no ideology as far as the MLAs are concerned. You are crisscrossing political parties at the drop of a hat. You withdrew support to the BJP-led government of Chief Minister Biden, that you switched sides, so on and so forth. And then on the voting day, there are indications that there may have been cross-voting. What reports we are getting that at least one of the Congress legislators supposed to have been a friend or a classmate of the BJP Rajya Sabha candidate, we don't know. So all these things are at play, and it's a very, very curious situation indeed as far as Manipur political situation now is concerned.
Absolutely, Vasbir. Thank you so much for all those updates. We will, of course, go back to Sharat Chandra again to confirm the developments on ground zero. Thank you so much, Vasbir, for all those updates. Well, we have a breaking news coming in from Mizoram. The results are over. The Rajya Sabha polls. MNF's K. Vanlal Vena has won the lone Rajya Sabha seat from Mizoram. That was on expected lines, of course, but it took a bit of a time for the results to be declared. He has secured 27 votes, which is on expected lines because the ruling MNF has 27 members in the assembly. So K. Vanlal Vena it is, MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena wins the lone Rajya Sabha seat in Mizoram. That is the breaking news at this hour from Mizoram. The others, Congress's Lalyan Chunga and the ZPM's B. Lalchanzova were the other candidates, but as expected, it is MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena who has secured the lone Rajya Sabha seat from Mizoram. We are being joined over the phone by our Aizawl correspondent Isaac Zoramsanga. Isaac, results on expected lines, but why did it take so much time? The counting, any information, Isaac?
As from the government officials, they have said that they still didn't get approval from the ACI. So they are still waiting for the confirmation from the ACI. So yes, counting has begun on 5 p.m., but still only now the results have been announced. So they say that the ACI have delayed something which has been finalized. So we don't know as of now yet.
Absolutely, but on expected lines, Isaac, the results are on expected lines. MNF candidate sails through. This was expected. This was coming, isn't it, Isaac?
Yes, this is expected vote which is secured by MNF candidate Mr. Kevalan Vena. And yes, he secured 27 votes from the MNF candidate. MNF currently have 27 MLAs here. Now that what the other unexpected coming out was also like the BJP MLA, the lone MLA, Dr. B.J. Chakma did not turn up for voting of this Rajya Sabha post. Like the reason likely is that they didn't have the official candidate here in this Rajya Sabha post, so it might be the reason. So 39 votes have total have been turned up.
Absolutely. And any first reactions from K. Vanlal Vena after winning the seat, Isaac? Any first reactions coming from him? Anything?
Yes, Kevalan Vena said that he had to, I've told to him that Kevalan Vena have said that he will, he thanked the MNF people for letting him to be the candidate of the Rajya Sabha post, and he also personally thanked the chief ministers. And after that, he said that he will work for the betterment of this Mizoram state, and even he will support whatever he needs of this in needs for the state. And even the party is aligned with the NDA, but when there is something in the secular wise, when there is something in the secular wise, when they will support Mizoram in case if there's something happening to the state, he added.
Thank you so much, Isaac Zoram Sangha, for all those updates. So, MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena it is for Mizoram as far as the lone Rajya Sabha seat is concerned. Well, suspense still continues in Manipur, but in Meghalaya, MDA common candidate and NPP state president W.R. Kharluki has won the lone Rajya Sabha seat in the state. Kharluki secured a comfortable victory over his Congress rival candidate Kriam by 20 votes. Of the total 59 votes cast which were polled today, Kharluki secured 39 votes while it was 19 votes for candidate Kriam. Let's listen into some of the reactions from W.R. Kharluki himself and also from Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma.
I would like to take this opportunity to first of all congratulate our newly elected Member of Parliament to the Rajya Sabha, Dr. W.R. Kharluki, on his victory in this election to the Rajya Sabha seat. At the same time, I would also like to thank all the members and the MLAs and the political parties of the MDA for extending their support and for casting their vote in favor of Dr. W.R. Kharluki. I'm sure that with the experience and the knowledge that Dr. Kharluki has, he will be able to bring a lot of enrichment and a lot of issues that are important to the state in the parliament, and I'm sure that he will give a very strong voice to the issues related to Meghalaya and the Northeast in general in the parliament. So once again, I take this opportunity to congratulate him and thank the members of the MDA for casting their vote in favor of Dr. W.R. Kharluki.
Mentioned by Dr. Kharluki. In fact, we are so thankful to our partners. We were together thick and thin. Though temptations were always there, but ultimately we came out victorious this moment.
My first time as a person in governmental politics. I have been in electoral politics and for so many years, but in governmental politics, let me be very frank with you, I have to learn the process, and I find myself, I don't know, I may be wrong this time, I'm a good learner in any field that I was, so I do expect that I will not let my state down. I'm elected as MP from this state. I'll try my level best to serve the people of the state in whatever capacity I could. It's a democratic process, like what I said. Whenever election is held, it shows that our democracy is very vibrant. So I'd like to thank the Honorable Chief Minister, then the Speaker, the Deputy Chief Minister, all his ministers and MLAs of the MDA, and my party colleagues and the other party in the MDA for really giving me this privilege to serve the state.
All right. So that was W.R. Kharluki, the Rajya Sabha candidate, MDA common candidate who won in Meghalaya. But we have a breaking news coming in. Counting of votes has finally began in Manipur. Yes, finally the counting of votes has begun, and within another half an hour or so, the results should be out. We'll try and connect with our bureau chief Sharat Chandra once again. So this is the big story at this hour. Counting of votes has just begun. Sharat joins us from Imphal. Sharat, is it confirmed? Counting of votes has finally begun. You have a smile on your face, Sharat.
Yeah, now, Nabrun, it is officially confirmed. I've already speak to one of the CEO official, and now they have got a signal from the ECI, and now very soon the counting is going to start, and almost started. And counting may not take time. This is the earlier version from the officials of the CEO also, because this is only 52 vote counts. 52 votes need to be counted. So counting will not take time, and by any time, probably by 30 minutes, the result will come out, and by the time, Nabarun, it's around 5 minutes ahead that the counting have already begun, and the result may come within 30 minutes, Nabarun.
So within half an hour, the results should be out. But Sharat, the equations remain the same. Those who have voted today, there's no information on that. So clearly, even the 3 MLAs who were earlier barred entry and later not disqualified by the Speaker's Tribunal, they also had voted. So all those equations, any clarity on that? Whether those will be counted? Any clarity as such?
You see, so now the counting is already start by 30 minutes. We'll be having one clear picture, no doubt. But the speculation at the BJP lobbies is that they are expecting around 28 seats to be secured, and they are also expecting that at last they're going to have an easy win. And BJP, this state BJP are very happy that they're going to win this Rajya Sabha lone seat from Manipur, and yes, clear picture.
So you're saying
will
the
come out after
BJP,
counting
the
ended,
BJP seems
but,
confident. We'll
they
still have
are
to
in
wait
very
for the
happy mood.
results. We'll still have to wait for the results, Sharat. But the BJP apparently seems confident.
No, yeah, the BJP are very confident, no doubt that they are expecting around 28 seats to be secured by the end of the counting. But still, we have to wait for the official confirmation on the final result, Nabarun, no doubt.
All right, Sharat, we will come back to you in some time. Keep track of the developments, try and get some reactions, and also whatever information you can pick up from your sources. We'll come back to you once again later in the show. Going back to Meghalaya, well, of course, it has been a kind of cakewalk for the MDA coalition candidate Kharluki, W.R. Kharluki, and this also is once again testimony that the NPP, the ruling NPP-led coalition, firmly holds the seat in Meghalaya, firmly holds the state. Of course, the Congress was also confident, but in the end, it was a smooth run for the NPP-led coalition common candidate. Our Meghalaya Bureau Chief Roshan Rai is joining us over the phone from Shillong. Roshan, after being elected, the first remark of Kharluki was on CAA. What does that signify?
Well, of course, it signifies that CAA has been a very important thing for the people of Meghalaya out here, and it has been time and again been projected, be it many political battles, as we have seen this time around also, like any other elections, there were political twists and turns, and Congress, of course, highlighted the fact that the NPP was in support of the CAA, and while the other parties, which is the NPP was in support of the CAA, which is not in sync with the aspirations of the people out here. That is what it was being projected earlier. So probably that is one of the main reasons why Kharluki started off by saying that it is one of the agenda during the governing council meeting, and he would do whatever best he can to pursue this further.
Absolutely, Roshan. Once again, this comfortable victory of W.R. Kharluki signifies that the NPP-led coalition is firmly in control of things, isn't it?
Well, of course, that is what the results reflect. And yes, even Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. President Singh, earlier when we caught up with him, he was of the same view. That, of course, this reflects that the MDA coalition stands firm and united. And the result is, of course, the reflection of it. But nonetheless, Navarun, I would also just like to bring this to notice that there are a lot of claims, although these are still confined to the sources, but there are reports of some internal murmuring. Of course, this has not come out openly, but of course, these are top leaders from the Congress who are giving the information. That of course there are some internal bickering that is building up. Probably that would have a bigger political in the political spectrum, a bigger change perhaps in times to come. However, I would just like to keep it to that at this moment till the time it is totally confirmed.
So there are some reports or some sources, of course, party sources, saying that there may be some internal bickering within the Congress. Is that you are saying, Roshan, within the Meghalaya Congress?
See, there are reports of this thing. These are top sources are informing.
Of course,
informing
nothing
us
official,
that-
yes. We do understand
Yes,
nothing
yes.
official, but some sources. Of course, we'll have to wait for confirmation, Roshan. Let's not speculate. But today, of course, is NPP's day. It's the MDA coalition, the NPP-led coalition, comfortable win for W.R. Kharloki. Thank you so much, Roshan Rai, for all those information. We'll take a very short break here. On the other side, we'll keep following the developments in Manipur. Our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain, will again join us over the phone. Very short break here. Welcome back. You're watching Bottom Line. We're following the developments in Manipur, where counting of votes for the Rajya Sabha polls began just a short while back. We're connected once again over the phone by our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. Wasbir, we are trying to connect with our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. In the meantime, we also have some reactions coming in from Mizoram. We'll try to get some reactions from the MNF leaders in Mizoram. Of course, MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena has won the lone Rajya Sabha seat in Mizoram. We will try and get some reactions from Mizoram on the MNF victory also. But the big news is that counting has finally began in Manipur. Yes, we are joined by our editor-in-chief, Wasbir Hussain. Wasbir, finally counting begins.
Absolutely, Navarone. Finally, counting has begun. Top Congress leaders from Manipur have just confirmed to Northeast Live that, the Congress has indeed moved the election commission, indeed complained to the election commission about how seven of the Congress, earlier initial Congress MLAs who were denied entry into the assembly premises by the court ruling, how were they allowed to vote? This was the point. This was the question that the Congress posed before the election commission while complaining and asking the elections to be declared null and void, and due to which the election commission had actually put the counting process on hold. But after going through all the pros and cons, after examining the facts, after examining several documents, after a to and fro communication, the election commission has finally cleared and the counting has just begun. In fact, at this point in time, as we speak, Chief Minister Biren Singh and all the top BJP leaders and leaders of some of its alliance partners like the NPF and others are within the assembly premises waiting for the results to be declared. The counting has already started. It's not going to take much time because there are only 60 members. The state assembly has a strength of 60, so it's not going to take much time. But the big breaking story in Navarone at this point in time, what our top sources within the Congress are telling us, that they are going to seize the mobile phones of all the Congress MLAs. The party is planning. This is at a planning stage. The Congress party is planning to seize the mobile telephones of all their party legislators to prevent possible horse trading. So that is what Congress leaders are claiming. I would use the word claiming. Some of the Congress leaders whom we have spoken to in the last few minutes, they have said that the Congress is engaged in a huddle at several places. They are trying to make sure that their party legislators their flock remains together, that there is no horse trading. So there is brisk and intense politicking going on in Manipur, even as we await the Rajya Sabha results. So this is one thing. It's in fact several tracks and there are several layers of the politicking going on in Manipur. One was, of course, how the BJP was bent on ensuring the victory of its candidate, the tutelar king, Sana Joba. That is on one track. Second, Biren Singh is engaged in saving his government that was reduced to a minority following the defection of several of his NPP MLAs as well as 3 BJP legislators. So this is brisk politicking going on, and these are high drama expected in the days ahead, Navarone.
So, Wasbir, can we assume that for now, as the counting has begun after the election commission giving a go-ahead, for now, at least as far as the Rajya Sabha polls are concerned, it could be advantage BJP?
Well, you see, a ruling party always has some advantage during any Rajya Sabha election. It's a numbers game. But, if there is cross-voting also cannot be prevented. There were whips issued by the Congress party, or for that matter, all the political parties have issued whips to their MLAs. But, you know, in this day and age, when people cross floors, there has been floor crossings at regular intervals, especially in states of the northeastern region, with a small number of MLAs. The strength of the houses are usually small. So this kind of cross-voting takes place. So it is likely that in Manipur also this time round, there may have been cross-voting, but there is no need to speculate at this point in time, because the election results are going to be out any time after a short while. We'll have to wait and watch. That's the best thing to do, Nabaru.
Absolutely, Wasbir. And my last question to you, we can still expect hectic politicking in Manipur for the next 3-4 days or probably a week?
Absolutely. A lot will depend on the election result of the Rajya Sabha election. A lot will depend on that. After that, this will start from now. It's already at this point in time, even as we talk, there is brisk politicking going on. And as I said, the Congress party is engaged in a huddle. They are basically trying to prevent the MLAs from being poached by others. So this is the strategy of the Congress. They might even go to the extent of seizing or taking in custody of the telephones, at least official phones of their party legislators. This is the plan going on, and we'll have to wait and watch, as I said, Nabalu.
Thank you so much, Wasbir, for all those updates. So results of the Rajya Sabha polls in Manipur will be out any time. We'll continue to track all those developments. We will now look at some reactions from Mizoram, reactions coming in from MNF leaders. Of course, MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena is the winning candidate as far as the Rajya Sabha polls in Mizoram is concerned. Let's get some reactions from Mizoram.
Today, I'm very happy that the ruling MNF party, Mizoram, have elected me for the member of Rajya Sabha MP on behalf of Mizoram. I'm very happy to our Honorable Chief Minister, Mr. Zoram Thanga, who is also the president of our party, MNF. So today is a very, very special day for me. So I promise myself to work for the betterment of the Mizo people, not only for the Mizo people, but also for the people of all tribes of the Northeast and all and for all over India.
That was K. Vanlal Vena, the winning candidate from Mizoram, MNF candidate K. Vanlal Vena. Of course, Congress's Lal Linchwanga and B. Lalchan Zoba of Zoram People's Movement were also in the fray. Of course, K. Vanlal Vena, the winning candidate there on the screens. Well, we will keep tracking the developments in Manipur. We'll go back to our Bureau Chief Sharat Chandra in a while. However, shifting focus now for a bit as the boycott China goods movement continues in India and the region. The question asked by many is it even practically possible? Is it even practically possible? If not, is the time not ripe to plan our policies in a way that helps the nation achieve the Atmanirbhar or self-dependent call given by the Prime Minister? How dependent are we on China? Are we helpless, or can something be done to reduce that dependency? In the Northeast, what can be done at the local level? Is this an opportunity, however challenging it may be, to boost local production in whatever limited way possible? Well, these are scenes from parts of Northeast that you see on your screens as people continue anti-China protests. Chinese products were also burnt in parts of Arunachal yesterday as the call for boycott of Chinese goods picks momentum. But is it even practically possible? We are being joined by Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, Professor Nehu Shillong, and and Dr. Sriparna Barua from IIE Guwahati for a small discussion on this before we head back to Manipur again. If I can go to Dr. Sriparna Barua first, is it even practically possible, Dr. Barua, this call, this boycott Chinese products call? Can we do it? Can we do it immediately, or there needs to be a proper planning?
Navarone, I don't think we can immediately do that. That would be a very impractical thing if we try to do it immediately. You see, we need, but then, as you very correctly said, this is a time that, this is a very challenging time. We want to boycott Chinese products. The intent is there. At the same time, this challenging time is also a time to strategize, to plan and go about so that we at least have a road plan as to what within the next maybe 5 years, 6 years, we think about how we can actually start boycotting. And for that, what we need is we look at what are the policy changes which are required. Look at China. What have they done? They have everything that has been possible in China has been because of a lot of not only the policy level but then implementation of policy level and looking at practically what can be done. Vis-a-vis, if we look at India, if we look at the policies which are there, while every policy, the intent is there, every policy is very well-meaning, but in terms of implementation, we find there is a big gap. You look at China, how China could make it happen is because they adopted the cluster approach. We call it what we call in Thailand, we call it the one village, one product. So it's like on a cluster mode that they have started doing products in which villages are identified on the basis of products that they make. The same thing in policy level is framed in the policy, and I think from 2012, since the last 5-year plan, we've been saying that cluster is an answer to all the growth and MSME development. But if you look at what has actually happened, which is one pocket that you will find in the entire northeastern region, which has products which are actually exportable and which is exportable and products, there could be 1 or 2 products which are exportable, but do we have volumes? So we don't have volume. So the first thing which is required is to have not only a policy, but entirely a strategy as to how you're going to implement that policy. Of course, labor laws are a big impediment because in China you find the labor is very cheap and then people are made to work for a long time. But along with labor laws, it's not just a labor law which is allowing them to make products. It's also infrastructure which has been created. So we need to have infrastructure and we need to have technology.
Well, more than labor laws, of course, as you mentioned, more than labor laws, it has to be the infrastructure because in India also labor is cheap. I mean, it's an open secret.
Exactly. We have to have the infrastructure because without infrastructure, the right technology and also a vision as to what we want to do. We have to have villages which we name that, okay, this village is going to do this product. Places like China, you will find, even if an umbrella is being made in a particular village, you will find 2-3 villages making parts of the umbrella. So what happens, what we call in economics, the economies of scale, that automatically comes in. Without economies of scale, there cannot be, you can't be going into entering other markets. You cannot be penetrating. So when other cheaper products are already available, so why will people, only on the local sentiment will people buy? So there has to be, of course, the local sentiment will be there, but along with that, there also has to be availability, what we call the Atmanirbhar, Bharat. For that, we have to actually have a proper plan. We also need to implement things. What are the products, which is the village that we're going into? So that these are things which are very, very extremely important.
Well, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, China is India's biggest trading partner as of now, accounting for over 18%, close to 20% of its imports. How practical is it to say boycott Chinese goods?
Now, boycott Chinese goods should be a kind of a nationalist slogan. Like Gandhi wanted to boycott foreign clothes. In the same way, once we pronounce boycott, that is arising out of a deep sense of fighting back China's unjust hegemony in the Indian market and also monopoly of certain Chinese products, electronic products, consumer items, medicines, certain other consumables, and especially the large sector of electronic items. where China is having almost an absolute monopoly, needs to be actually brought to a certain kind of symmetry or balance with Indian production and capability of Indian producers. So to establish that, we have to start a staggered step-by-step withdrawal from purchase of Chinese products and commodities without hurting our retailers, because most of our retailers have already paid for the retail items that they have stockpiled in their own stock
What are
and which
our
they are selling.
alternatives? What alternatives do you have? Do we have?
I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
Alternatives could be building up smaller electronic items right from the scratch, and whatever electronic build-up capacity India has in uh, various special production zones, SEZs, and other places, those have to be augmented proportionately. On the one side, we shall withdraw. On the other side, we shall augment what we have withdrawn from by bringing those parts from elsewhere, maybe from other countries such as Taiwan or Singapore or certain other countries, and we assemble them, reassemble them, repackage them until we produce those parts ourselves. In automobile industry, in aeronautical industry, in robotics and in computer industry, in chemicals and fertilizers, everywhere there's a huge scope of developing our own raw materials by collecting the basic
There
raw
is a scope,
materials from our
yes,
own country.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
there's a scope, but are we working towards cashing in on it? For instance, 75% of the smartphones sold in India are made by Chinese companies, 75%. That's like a sweeping figure. Are we even planning to change that in the near future?
Yeah, I have seen that Reliance has purchased recently huge number of SIM card. Even that fiber which Reliance has laid, half of it is bought from parts of half of it is bought from China only. So therefore, we have to create an infrastructure to develop our own self-reliance on which we are not investing. We are selling off our market, opening up our market to Chinese investment or some other foreign investment, which is taking away our own productive capability of our capability to mobilize raw material and process them in our own industrial and ancillary sectors. So therefore, we need to revamp entirely by way of strategic planning how much to withdraw, how much to replace Chinese raw materials by bringing a substitute, and from where, how cost effective that could be, how we can minimize the transaction cost, and how we can slowly build up a self-reliant economy. That's a major challenge. None of us can turn away from this.
Dr. Sriparna Barua, for a nation which is still struggling with startups, with small entrepreneurs, do you think we can really aspire to compete with China even in the next 5 years? Not being pessimistic, just trying a fact check. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can aspire. Definitely, we can aspire because there, as I said, it is through the cluster mode that we can, where China, whatever China has done, it has done through the cluster mode, which is associating villages, etc., and identifying pockets through which you start doing mass production. So I think from that point of view, it is very much doable. But the other point, one is infrastructure, which I said. The other thing, which is also equally important now that we're talking so much about technology, and we realize the importance of technology. Technology is the other factor because it is based on technology that we bring in small improvements. I'll just give you an example in China. Apart from infrastructure, two other things which they emphasize on. This is I'm talking about way back, maybe 10 years back, when we had taken a delegation to China. What we found is that number one is that ease of doing business that we are talking about. Their ease of doing business. 7 days you come and start a company. So that's the ease of business, and it's 7 days means actually 7 days. We have a portal on doing ease of business. Just try going and doing business through the portal. You'll find so many problems there. It's not facilitating business, the ease of doing business. And we look at the number of times people have attempted to come through the portal, through the ease of doing portal, and try to start something. It has not, that has not come up. The second thing which I would like to say is that, in China, what they're so very meticulous about everything. industry academia interface is something they had planned long back, and they have been very systematically put it in the process. For example, in an industrial estate, biggest industrial estate in Shanghai, way back in about 15 years back, I saw that there was a university campus in the industrial estate. So what does it mean? That whatever here are academics and industry is disassociated. So there what they are doing is any research that you're doing a research which has an implication in terms of commercialization. So that is something extremely important. So when we thinking about a 5-year plan, we also have to think in terms of 5 years, what are we going to do? How do we bring in technology? How do we build up infrastructure? And then have a realistic plan
In
as
short,
to what can be done.
in short, we have a lot of areas to cover. Thank you so much, Dr. Sriparna Barua. Thank you so much, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas. I'm afraid we have to cut back to Manipur. Big political developments there. Thank you so much, both of you, for joining me on Bottom Line. We'll go back to Imphal again, where our Bureau Chief Sharat Chandra is tracking all the developments. Sharat, how much more time, how long more before we get the results?
Yeah, Navarun, it may take another 15 minutes. Right now, you can see just before minutes ahead, this is the Congress MLA. Congress MLA enter again to the counting hall. He was present. He is being present here since the counting start. I do not know again what could be the reason behind it. All of a sudden, the Congress MLA who were witnessing the counting, all of a sudden just left the counting hall. Again, he was again requested by this security officials of this assembly complex, and he again taken back to the counting hall. So counting have already begun 10 minutes ahead, and it may take another 15 to 20 minutes, but I do not know the reason behind, because all of a sudden the Congress MLA who was witnessing the counting from the beginning, all of a sudden left, and security officials of this assembly complex again requested him to come back, and now he has taken again the Congress MLA witnessing the counting again taken back to the counting hall. So I think maybe for around some minutes, I think counting may again disrupted, but now I think counting will resume soon, I think. So Navarun, around about another 15 minutes may take to end the counting, Navarun.
Clearly, a lot of suspense still continues, Sharat, and what we are also hearing is that we can expect hectic politicking in Manipur for the next 2 to 3 days. The Congress MLAs are also huddled together in a place. Of course, the BJP MLAs leaders are in the assembly premises. Clearly, hectic politicking on the cards, Sharat, in the next 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. Next 2 to 3 days is very hectic for the opposition Congress. And right now, again, with me is the Chief Minister N. Singh. So, sir, you are, I think, confident enough to win this Rajya Sabha loan. Only one line, sir, because it is lightly sponsored. Please say one line.
It is a big win of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. It is a big win of the BJP, and I would like to thank the people of the state for their kind cooperation and support to the government, and I would like to thank all the members who voted for the BJP, and those who are in the opposition also, who have shown the healthy democratic system, and it is a win-win situation, I will say, because there is no defeat in the loss, but it is a greatest achievement of the people of the state, and we are contributing our Maharaja, the titular king, as a Rajya Sabha member, as a team of the Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and the Home Minister Amit Shah ji. And I also would like to congratulate and thanks the National President, Shri Nadaji of the BJP, for his effort, for his tireless, the checking, balancing, and mobilizing all the members and all the state people of the state.
Do you think that this result will give a very another stable government to your government, sir?
The result itself shows that the BJP-led government in favor of the titular king, we are getting 28 out of 52. It clearly shows we have enough strength of majority. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Wish you all the best, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Yeah,
big
this is
big
civil
breaking news
disobedience
there.
coming out.
Big breaking news, Sharat. Yes, 28. The chief minister there confirming. Yeah.
This is the again
Okay.
candidate. Titular king, let's say,
Yes.
Please say one line, sir.
Sorry.
This very happy moment to the Manipur, the people of Manipur.
Yeah.
Please say one line, sir.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very happy to get this victory, and I would like to do something for the people of my people. What I cannot do for the last 25 years of my service for the people of this state. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, this is again first. There was Civil Minister Biren Singh who was very
Yes.
happy that this ruling Congress secured 52. This out of 52, they secured 28 seats. And again, that was the titular king Lesemba Sanazauba, who is again very happy, giving a very good message, very happy, sharing the happy moment with the people of Manipur that he will serve for the people of Manipur. Nabarun.
Yes, Sharat, big breaking news. Thank you so much for all those updates. Big breaking news. BJP candidate titular king Leshamba Sanayauba has won the Rajya Sabha seat, lone Rajya Sabha seat from Manipur despite all odds. 28 votes secured out of the total 52. So that's very interesting. And we also heard the Chief Minister Biren Singh asserting that the BJP-led coalition government is secure in the state. The numbers speak for themselves, is what Biren Singh said. 28 in favor of its candidate in Rajya Sabha implies that Biren Singh rule is not yet over in Manipur. That's what the Chief Minister told Northeast Live on this show. We'll have to leave it there. Stay tuned.